Imagine waking up in a world that's still loading. A city built like a half-rendered video game, where neon streets flicker between medieval stone and corporate glass. A health bar hovers in your vision, a second, digital heartbeat. Then, a voice you can't see announces you're live. Always live, this is Jax Calder's reality. He's not in a world built by designers or gods, but by an audience. An audience whose attention is currency, whose whims are law. The first time Jax learns this lesson, it's brutal. He reaches for a weapon, but his hand freezes midair. A pole appears in the sky, a shimmering question mark over the cityscape, asking millions of strangers, should Jax fight, flee, or fail spectacularly? He watches, powerless, as the votes pour in. When the timer hits zero, his muscles obey the majority, not his will, but the will of the crowd. In this world, chaos is routine. The viewers reward suffering with likes and mercy with boredom. The city itself is a slave to engagement metrics. A bridge collapses without warning because unexpected deaths are trending. A child NPC suddenly gains consciousness because emotional arcs are spiking watch time. Jax is sent on missions that change mid-sentence. His closest allies turn into traitors because betrayal polls always perform better than loyalty. The game is rigged for drama. The longer he survives, the more the audience forgets he's even human. They stop calling him Jax. He becomes content, an avatar, a consequence-free plaything. They see his pain as entertainment, his fear as a performance. But the worst mechanic isn't the pain, it's the delay. Danger appears instantly, but the votes deciding his fate take seconds to arrive. He's forced to wait, frozen and helpless, while the countdown decides if he lives or dies. And he dies a lot. But the viewers voted resurrection back into the rules. Death, it turned out, made the stream boring, so he respawns again and again, with every memory of his demise intact. Each death is a lesson in how thin morality becomes when it's outsourced to a crowd, how cruelty spreads faster than empathy when no one feels responsible. Responsibility evaporates when it's diluted into millions of anonymous votes. But then, something strange starts to happen. As the audience grows, factions form. They aren't divided by good or evil, but by narrative preference. The tragedians, who want to see Jax suffer a noble, heartbreaking end. The hopefuls, who demand a happy ending against all odds. And the absurdists, who just want to see what happens if they vote for the weirdest option every single time. Jax learns to read the chat scroll like a weather forecast. He can feel the mood of the crowd shifting. He starts baiting certain outcomes, walking into danger when he sees that mercy is trending, stalling for time when the chaos spikes. He's no longer just a player. He's becoming a performer, not by choice, but for survival. He's learning to play the audience, not just the game. One night, a message appears in the chat that freezes the entire feed for half a second. It's from a user named Still Watching, and the message says, "He knows you can hear us." Jax realizes the system was never designed for the player to understand the audience, because understanding gives you leverage. So he starts to speak back, not to the frantic scroll of the chat, but into the silence between the polls. He narrates his own fear. He talks about his memories from before the stream, the smell of rain on real concrete, the sound of his mother's laugh, and something unexpected happens. The retention rate drops slightly, but donations spike. Authenticity, it seems, disrupts the spectacle. Viewers start voting against cruelty, not out of kindness, but out of curiosity. They want to see what happens if the game allows for genuine choice. The world itself begins to resist. Glitches appear like scars on the digital landscape. The game engine struggles to reconcile total audience control with a flicker of human agency. NPCs start remembering things from previous loops. Buildings refuse to collapse on command. The very physics of the world stutter when the chaos votes exceed a certain threshold. The developers, those faceless gods behind the curtain, push an emergency patch. The polls get harder, the timers shorter. They frame impossible moral dilemmas as entertainment. Save Jax, or save an entire city district for the first time. The chat fractures not with glee, but with anger. Consequences suddenly feel heavier when they're attached to a voice that speaks back, a voice that reminds them of the person behind the avatar. Jax exploits this. He starts stalling. During the most critical countdowns, he just stands still, forcing the viewers to sit with their choice, to watch the city hold its breath alongside him. The stream becomes uncomfortable. Viewership fluctuates wildly, but in the cracks, a new subculture grows. A group of watchers who stop voting. They just type. They refuse to participate. They begin to starve the system of its consensus. And when the votes fail to reach a quorum, the world does something it was never programmed to do. A new question appears in the sky, addressed only to him. It asks Jax what he wants. His answer is the simplest request imaginable: to walk one street without a pole. The system hesitates. You can almost feel the metrics dipping, hear the alarm screaming somewhere beyond the sky. But the street holds. No vote appears. No chaos is forced upon him. And in that quiet, Jax feels real gravity for the first time. He takes a real breath, and he starts walking. The audience watches, not because it's exciting, but because it's forbidden. Some leave, bored by the lack of action, but many stay, captivated. The game world begins to fracture into zones still ruled by chaotic votes, and zones where choice is earned through silence. The final poll never appears. Too many viewers refuse to vote. They finally understand that their attention was the leash all along. And as the stream fades, not to black, but to a city still unfinished, still alive, Jax walks off camera. He knows now that chaos only wins when it has an audience, and the viewers are left with the one outcome they never voted for: responsibility. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content like this. Let us know in the comments what you would have voted for.